Welcome back to the SOTA Pop podcast. This is episode 13 of season 2. And today it's just me and Laney because today we are going to say goodbye to Laney.
Yeah.
And this is going to be her last episode with us. So we figured we'd have one devoted to her.
Thanks.
So for those people who haven't been here since season 1, why don't you kind of introduce yourself and tell us like where you're from and what your major is, although most people should know, but just go through it for those who don't.
So I am from Alexander City, Alabama, which most people don't know where that is, so I say like 45 minutes from Auburn. I am a theater major, concentration in acting. I graduate in December. That's why I'm leaving. For those that don't know, wait, why is she leaving the podcast? This is why I'm leaving. I'm graduating in December. Super excited about that. Yeah, I've been interested in theater and acting since I was probably about 2 or 3, and love all kinds of arts, and so that's why I've devoted my life to the arts.
What would you say your favorite part from your time at UNA has been?
Probably my favorite thing that, are you talking about, for acting or
That's for
just
anything.
in UNA? Oh gosh, that's hard.
You can tie it into acting if it makes it easier.
Well, probably one of my favorite things acting-wise was Picasso at Le Pen Agile. It's a mouthful. It's a play written by Steve Martin, and I did it my sophomore year of college, back in, 2017? Gosh, okay. I'm dating myself, although it's not that long ago. And it was one of my most favorite shows I've ever done here, because just the cast was really, really, we bonded so well, and everything went so smoothly, and we just had a lot of fun. Most of my favorite times being at UNA have revolved around the theater program, because that's where I, live. And so, yeah, it's probably been that. I also, for here, just, since, we're the School of Arts.
Why not?
For the podcast, probably one of my favorite things that we've done is when we had, I remember the Lesson Before Dying one, that was really good. And I think,
somewhere.
Yeah, it's up there on the wall. I can pick it out right now. I think that was a really, really good one. And when we've moved around and we visited different places, and when we had Ed on the podcast, that was really awesome because,
yeah, that was fun.
I mean, he was, from a different place and came down.
Yeah, that was really cool. Fun.
Yeah, I think, that's probably been one of my favorite things that we've done here on the podcast.
So why did you choose to come to UNA, and what got you interested in theater, whether you were interested in high school or if you started when you came here?
Well, I have been doing theater for a while. I did it in high school when we actually had a theater program, which was not until junior year of high school. But it's kind of funny. When I was a senior, I was in between 2 colleges, Troy and UNA. And Troy was closer to home. UNA I live 4 hours away from here. So it was it was hard to figure it out. And I didn't even actually hear about UNA, but I got a postcard in the mail from UNA. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I most definitely want to check it out, And I came up here and I liked it, but I still was thinking Troy. And then I came spring preview day, and I had 2 auditions back to back. I had a band audition and a theater audition, because I had been messaging Charlton James, who's the director over the theater program, and I had emailed him a couple of times, and so he had the audition come up. And when I came up for spring preview day and meeting everyone, I was like, and I'm coming here, because just everyone was super friendly. And I remember, everybody was just smiling, and it just seemed really, welcoming here. And for the theater audition, I had auditioned for Troy, and it was super stressful. And when I auditioned for UNA, it was not. I got on the set, and I mean, of course, it was still stressful because it's an audition, and you want to do your best, and you want to get the scholarship and everything. But no, it wasn't. It wasn't as stressful because I felt calm and confident and comfortable because of who I was auditioning for. They made me feel very relaxed when I was doing the audition, and so and that was with Charlton and Dr. Rubenhausen, Doc. Which, wow, that was a long time ago. But I remember that was what made me think I'm coming to the theater program and come to UNA, because it was beautiful too. Florence is stinking gorgeous, and I was like, I have to come here. See, the campus was like, yeah, I'm coming here. That's 100%, and yeah.
I feel like size would have played a little bit of a role too there, because at the time we weren't a Division I school like we are now, and I know when you started coming here, there were a good amount less people than there are now too. So
yeah, there wasn't a lot of people, and I remember classes were pretty small. The biggest class I ever had here freshman year and stuff.
I'm guessing either science or history.
It was history. It was an 80-person class, and that was still very small, considering Auburn or Alabama, where you can get 400 people or whatever in a class. And so one thing I did really want was a smaller college that I could get closer to my professors, and be able to have that connection, because I wanted them to know my name. I wanted to be able to work, because not being able to do that would stress me out even more. So
I mean, Troy's not that much bigger, but I will say I feel like we probably have a better system of connection with our professors, because of,
and now I'm 100% a Lion. Oh, and the Lions on campus are super cool. I do remember that was a big thing as well, because I had never seen that.
Imagine if Troy somehow invented time traveling.
Just a Trojan warrior. The Lion. I remember the Lion coughed up a hairball on my tour though, and that was really funny. That was hilarious. I was like, what's going on? Why is he making that noise? Because I had never had a cat, so I didn't actually know what that was. And they're like, oh, he's coughing up a hairball. And I was like, oh, it's a good first meeting of the Lions.
And I don't know if you went to if you went to the football game for the preview day, but I think at that time they might have still been taking them to football games too.
Yeah, they did.
Which is that was a big deal for me. I liked that. I grew up here, so I always liked seeing the Lions at the football games. And I was a little disappointed when I got here and they didn't take them anymore.
Yeah, and for those that also don't know, my freshman year I was in the UNA Pride. Yeah, isn't it? And they did bring the Lions onto the field. But yeah, I was in the UNA Pride for the first semester I was here. And that was one of the auditions I had. I had an audition for theater and I had an audition for band, and it was awesome. And I got to go out on fields of competitions that I participated in when I was in high school, and that was so weird. But it was really fun, and I most definitely the band is hardcore. And that's why they're so good. Just letting y'all know. So
yeah. So back to more theater type stuff. Tell us kind of what are some of the greatest productions you've been a part of, and I mean, you can go into detail about what your role was if you want to. You don't have to, but just kind of tell us about what productions you've been able to be a part of since you've been here.
Well, I've been in 4 productions now here at UNA. I was in Picasso at Le Pen Agile. I mentioned that. I played Suzanne, which is not and then I was in MacB, the Scottish play. I'm not going to actually say it, so Yeah, even though I was in a successful production, I'm not going to say it. I was Lady Macduff. I died on stage. That was probably like super fun for me because I loved dying on stage. I played several characters in It's a Wonderful Life, which was the radio show, and that was really fun. I got a Stanley Award for that, and that was really cool to be able to do that show because it's a classic. And
that was the one that you got. That was in the black box, right?
Yes.
And that was the one where you guys were out in the lobby talking to people when they came in.
Yes. That was super fun. When we would start out with improv and come into the theater acting like we were from New York or wherever in the 1940s, like late 1940s, and coming in and talking to the audience. We're actually doing it again, but we're doing it in Red Bay. So that was, I'm excited to do that again because that's my favorite part of the show. And then now I'm in Waiting for Godot, or Godot, as we say it in the show. And I play Lucky, which is so different than what I've played before. And I'm really excited about that. And then I also did a community theater show here in Florence. I did Much Ado About Nothing. I played Ursula, which was cool. Yeah. And yeah, because I really love Shakespeare. And Mike Green is awesome. Yeah.
So now we're going to go into more detail. So Waiting for Godot, kind of tell us a little bit about what it's about without giving away too many spoilers for those who are going to see it. Tell us about your role and kind of how you've seen, your growth through the years as, an actress.
Okay. So this is difficult because I don't want to mess up the synopsis. But basically, Waiting for Godot is about two men, Estragon and Vladimir, who are waiting for this man named Godot. And, throughout the show, it's very eye-opening for audiences to kind of interpret who is Godot. Is it a symbol for something that they're going for? Religion, it's just kind of up to the audience's interpretation. But they, contemplate life and try to find ways to make their time go by, while they're waiting. And then they come across Pazzo and Lucky, who are just some weird characters, but they also symbolize some people in society. And it's a fun time. It's very entertaining, but also very deep into, thinking about what life is and what's life's meaning. And so, the coolest part about Waiting for Godot, by the way, we have a guest director, and he's awesome, Matthew Morgan. He's from Vegas, and, well, he's not from Vegas, but that's where he came from. He's from L.A., and he is a clown, which is super cool. Yeah, he's awesome. And he's done amazing work, and I will say, I said Picasso was a really good show that I was in. Waiting for Godot has been 100% so amazing because everyone just works really well together and we're bouncing off ideas and we're diving deep into the show. But yeah, and my role in this show is very much kind of like the voice of reason. Everyone else is contemplating, what do I do here? And, well, I don't I don't know what to do while we're waiting and kind of what is life. And I think for my character, Lucky, he knows what life is, or at least he has his idea, and he kind of describes what's going on in the show while also not making much sense because he doesn't talk for most of the show. And so when he does have an opportunity to speak, it's like one long, huge thing, no punctuation, no stops. He just blabbers on and on and on for two pages.
Somebody hyped up on coffee.
Yeah. And he speaks some truth, but so you have to listen for it. But his truth, anyways. And I'm really excited to play this role. It's not something I'm used to at all. I mean, I sleep for most of the show, so it's great. Yeah, I think that role has been huge for me as an actor. When I came here, I was told by a friend of mine, when I did my first class here, you're a very shy actor, very shy actress. And, I grew from that when we did Picasso, because that was a very huge role to get into, breaking boundaries. And so since then, I've done shows that have been very dark, very lively, and just different kind of things. And I think with every show, I've grown a little bit better, a little more. I still have a lot of growing to do. I think every artist still has, that need to improve what you've done. But I think with Lucky, it's so different that it's helped me grow of like, what can I potentially be able to do. And so I'm really happy that this is like kind of one of my last shows, even though we are doing It's a Wonderful Life again. I've already done the show, so this is like my last like hoorah kind of thing. Yeah.
And I will say, like, even though you're like the theater program is separated into a different department now, you as an actress are still technically part of the entertainment industry. So I feel like those of us, whether it's music, whether it's acting, whether it's, painting, drawing, sculpting, whatever it is, I feel like it's a big misconception to where people are starting, when they get popular, people think that they're done. They don't want to keep going higher. But like, you can find success from a fluke.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily just because you have a song on the Billboard charts, or you have a piece hanging in a gallery somewhere, or you were part of a production that won a whole bunch of awards. It doesn't necessarily mean you performed how you wanted to perform.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's always room to grow, especially within the industry that we work in.
And I think instead, even not just growing forward, but growing out, finding something else that you could branch out into. Just don't, like if you find success in one thing, maybe you can also find success in another genre or another, genre is basically the overlying word of like, for acting, like different genres of, movies or, what kind of acting do you just do comedy? Do you want to do drama as well? And with music as well. Yeah.
So I'll get into where you can go and see Waiting for Godot in a second. But first, why do you think those students who are interested, either from high school, who are interested in studying in the theater program, or those who are still maybe undecided, who don't exactly know where they want to go, why do you think that the theater program would kind of be a good place for them to place themselves?
I think that it's a big opportunity to come to UNA because of the fact of how fast we're growing now. When I was here my first year to the second year to the third, it grew like tremendously, and it's still growing. And I think that students that are thinking about coming up here definitely should, because like I said, we are growing, and not to mention the fact the students, we have amazing faculty, and then also with our students, the students are very, very, very encouraging. And like I have, most of my friends are in the theater program, and they're very, hey, if you're having issues or problems with personal problems or school issues that you need to help solve, like if you're working on a monologue and you don't know your lines, they'll help. If you've got a personal issue, they're there for you. And I think being in college where you're gonna have some struggles, it's nice to have those people, and also with them being encouraging as well. within this program and in this art, it's important to have that encouragement. And so I think that for students to come to UNA, it's going to be very beneficial for you, just because of what this campus is doing and what this theater program is doing and what we're trying to accomplish. And I think we're doing a pretty good job of that.
Mm-hmm. So those who do want to go see Waiting for Godot, it's going to be in we call it the Black Box, but it's called the George Lindsay Theater. It's like right behind Norton. So normally where you go in Norton, the other side is the Black Box. So that's where it's going to be. There's 3 shows, the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. The 22nd and 23rd, that's a Friday and Saturday. It'll be at 7:30. And on that Sunday right after, it'll be at 2 o'clock. Mm-hmm. So tickets are available just like they were for the opera. Like I said, they'll all be on the website. You can buy them in person. There are still free student tickets too. They'll be in the GUC on the 20th and the 21st at prospective times to it's for you to pick them up, or you can come to the door too. But you do want to do it fast if you're a student, do want to come because they are limited. So
yeah, seats are limited, and make sure you get your tickets quick.
Yeah, and it's for all UNA students. So even if you're a non-School of the Arts affiliated major, you can come and get it too. But now to a more serious, important note. Laney,
Gosh, this feels weird.
Since Laney is leaving, we will have to have somebody who can come in and do what she has been doing. So if you do want to be a part of our team and be co-host like she was for the past 2 years, send us an email at arts@una.edu to set up your audition time. We are going to be doing auditions. So the deadline will be November 26th, so do it ASAP, please. It is very important that we have that second person to help us out. Audition dates are going to be Monday, December 2nd, and that'll be from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. And then we'll have more on that next Wednesday from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock.
You mean that Wednesday?
Yeah, that next Wednesday there. Literally the Monday and then the Wednesday.
Yeah, okay.
So we kind of need somebody, like I said, to do what she's doing. So you need to be the co-host, because I can't do it all by myself. It's we've kind of grown past that point now. So I need somebody who can help me be a co-host, who can help me edit the videos, because as you've heard in our past episodes, it's a little bit of a struggle.
It's behind, yeah.
It's a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
I need somebody who's also going to be able to learn, willing to learn, what exactly my job is too, just in case I can't be at a certain place for an episode. It's very simple. I can teach you in maybe 10 minutes. So then
this job's not hard at all, I swear.
Okay.
Just
So yeah, but okay. So another part of her job is she actually does social media marketing too. So
and scripts.
And she does do the outlines for episodes as well. So, I mean, you don't have to be like super proficient in any of these areas. It's a learning experience. Although if you are experienced and you want to come be a part of it, go right ahead. But it's all stuff that you can learn pretty fast. We've been able to do it. We started this from scratch, and we didn't know how to do any of it. I had some tiny experience on, like,
we all learned
on Premiere Pro and GarageBand, which is so. It's not too bad, and you'll learn. But Laney, what do you think is the ideal? I'm saying what I would see as somebody. How do you see somebody coming in and taking your place? How do you want your legacy to be continued?
Legacy, goodness. I think most importantly, having a love for the arts is huge for School of the Arts. It doesn't matter if you are in an art, but having that love for the arts and what people do in the arts is important. or, the appreciation to know that how hard it is, sometimes to be in the art that they are in. I think another thing is having that energy, being able to be personable, because you are going to meet a lot of different people. And it's important to hold yourself and be able to, introduce yourself to people and be able to have this connection with your guests. Because, we've had a lot of people on the show. We have pictures up here, and not even all of them are up here, of guests we've had. And they're all different. And it's really awesome to have that connection with these people. I keep looking at these pictures, and they're making me sad. But it's important to have that, being able to speak and hold a conversation. I think a big thing is also being able to help Mark. He can't do it by himself, and it's, oh gosh, I saw my name on that. Okay, I'm sorry. I got really sad. But I think a big thing is just to have fun, This is fun. It is. It really is. Being able to know who you're going to have on the podcast, having that, you have to research as well.
That's another part of the job.
Big thing, research, look up. And it's fun to do that when you have, like, some of the people we've had on this podcast. Being able to find out more about them is fun. You're like, what? They've done this? And you get to meet them and make sure that you come up with good questions so that you can be able to have this conversation. Listen, have good listening skills, because you're going to sit here and sometimes you're going to have questions that you can branch off of, and being able to listen to their answers, being able to have a conversation. That's what makes good for this podcast. Have a clear voice, work, and have fun, I think. But number one, definitely have a love for arts. Yeah. That's what we do here. We love the arts, every single one of them. And so I think that's very important. And just have fun with all these people. Mm-hmm. There's so many good people here, good people that have left, good people that are still here, good people that are leaving, but we'll still come back and visit you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, everyone works really nicely here together. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
So I do want to say thank you for being a part of the past 2 seasons. I know we're only halfway through season 2.
Yeah.
But it was good to start this up and make it such a good...
It's our baby. It's weird, but...
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Make it such a growing production type thing. Mm-hmm. Make sure you guys follow all of our social medias. Mm-hmm. They're all the same. SOTA Pop. Mm-hmm. Even on Facebook. I know people don't use Facebook a lot, but it's on Facebook. Follow Laney. She's linked in most of our posts on mm-hmm. Instagram, mostly. Mostly. But go check out her stuff too. And don't forget to submit your audition times by November 26th. Yeah. We do have our entire second half of the season semi-lined up, so we do need to have some time before we start that to
kind of
go over everything. So, but definitely do that. Watch our social media for updates on that as well. Definitely check out our next episode. I think we'll have Dr. Brown on again. Mm-hmm. His episodes are always awesome. So yeah, tune in next week. But that's all we have for you today. And thank you for listening.
And goodbye.
And final goodbyes from Laney.
Yeah. And saying goodbye, and I'm out. Peace.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
This podcast has been brought to you by UNA School of the Arts. Produced by Mark Gallegos and Laney Green. Special thanks to Monica Collier and the SOTA staff.